August 14 Tage, 1942. Over the vast, grey expanse of North Atlantic, just 200 miles southwest of Iceland, the horizon stretched endlessly, a seamless blend of steel-colored skianchernings. The enlysine soft life earth white caps marking restless swells. Inside the cramped cockpit of a P-38F Lightning, Second Lieutenant Teleshahana adjusted his oxygen mask, his eye scanning the horizon through the distinctive Etwin booms framing his view. Beside him, Major John Weltman for another Lightning, their twin Allison engines droning steadily as the patrol at Theskis. Our soft monotonous patrol were suddenly broken by a dark shape beyond the horizon, a German Focke-Wulf FW-200 Condor, a 4-engine Maritime patrol bomber returning from a hunt against Allied convoys. The engagement began. A Royal Air Force Northrop Nomad patrol bomber tracked Condor and radioed its position. Lieutenant Joseph Schaefer, flying a P-40 Warhawk, attacked first, his machine guns finding Thermar Khan setting gone off Condor's engines ablaze. Shahanan Dweltman Pachet here throttles forward, P-38 surged ahead with power match had been on oft Heesingle, engine F fighters closing in from Grange Dunley Shinje deadly barrage from their 4.50 caliber machine guns and 20 cannon, mounted in the nose. The concentrated firatory through the Condor's fuselage, igniting flames that consumed the massive bomber assembled in Toth Atlantic. Circling Gonsto confirmed the kill, the American pilot sterned back toward Iceland, having just destroyed the fierce Luftwaffe aircraft shot down the United States Army Air Force F fighters. These engagement marked the beginning of P-38 Lightning's legendary reputation. The German Luftwaffe, steeped in a doctrine thought dismissed twin-engine F fighters as lumbering and vulnerable, was about to face a harsh really. P-38's unconventional design, twin-boom housing engines, a central nacelle for the pilot and weapons, and tricycle landing gear, defeat of era principal Luftwaffe tacticians believe a essential for fighter superiority. Yet, this strange American aircraft would soon force German pilots to rethink of the thought no buterial combat. P-38 Lightning was not simply a fighter. It was a revolutionary aircraft design and combat philosophy. Built by Lockheed under the guidance of ingenious engineer Clarence, Kelly Johnson. P-38 embraced the twin-engine configuration in a way that turned previous weaknesses into strengths. When boom shell engines and propellers, rotating in opposite directions to eliminate Teeter-Kathop-legged single-engine fighters. Below and weapons were housed in a central nacelle, providing an unobstructed view on the Lauan Gall guns. 4.50 caliber machine guns and 20 cannon, Toba fired from the nose, delivering concentrated firepower without the need for gun convergence adjustments. P-38's design offered severe Iraqi advantages. First, the counter-rotating propellers eliminated Iraqi and improved handling. Second, when boom supported twin vertical tail fins connected by a horizontal stabilizer, providing exceptional stability and control authority. That distributed weight improved roll radius and maneuverability despite the aircraft size and weight. Most importantly, the clean aerodynamic significant liar du drag compared to conventional twin-engine layouts, where engines mounted on the wings created massive interference drag. The American pilots flying the P-38 were trained to exploit his advantages with tactics that leveraged the speed, climb rate and firepower of the aircraft. Instead of relying on tight-turning dogfights, the use some climbs, diving attacks and high-speed maneuvers that confounded and manipulate accustomed to slower, less agile twin-engine fighters. The first combat engagement in the North Atlantic was not just a victory. It was a proof point. The successful destruction of the WW2 Condor demonstrated the P-38's ability to perform long-range patrol and intercept missions while delivering deadly firepower against large arena aircraft. This was critical in the Battle of the Atlantic, where maritime patrol bombers like the Condor threatened Allied shipping and convoys. The P-38's arrival on the combat stage came at a critical time. The United States had recently entered World War II after the attack in Pearl Harbor, and American air power was rapidly expanding. The P-38 was only off the first American fighters capable of operating at long ranges and high altitudes, providing escort for bombers and engaging enemy fighters far from friendly bases. Despite its initial success, the P-38 faced challenges. The aircraft's complex twin-engine configuration required meticulous maintenance and pilot training. The central nacelle twin booms create unique flight characteristics that pilots had to learn quickly to exploit the aircraft's full potential. Early models had teething problems with engine cooling on turbochargers, but Lockheed engineers quickly addressed these with improvements in production versions. The North Atlantis engagement so signaled a shift in the balance of power in the air. The Luftwaffe, confident in their superior fighter doctrine and aircraft design, Hadismisseth P-38 as an unwieldy reconnaissance platforming capable of challenging their Bf-109 Sand FW-190s. Decent estimation would cost him dear lion the coming months. Thep-38 Sunique combination off-speed, firepower, and maneuverability force German pilots and commander story assess their strategies. The aircraft's ability to perform vertical maneuvers and maintain fiery race at various ranges medida deadly opponent in both dogfights and interceptions. For 2nd Lieutenant Shahan and Major John Weltman, their first combat victory was just the beginning. They would soon participate in marine engagements. That's how cased P-38's capability as and help it establish it as a formidable weapon in Thalid arsenal. Thep-38 Lightning's first go was not only a mark of American engineering and pilot skill but also symbol of innovation and adaptation in wartime aviation. It challenged conventional wisdom and proved that when turboprop fighters could dominate in the air, changing the course of World War aerial combat forever. In the months leading up to P-38's first combatangment, German fighter pilots and commanders received intelligence reports about a new American fighter entering service. Photos and brief descriptions reveal an aircraft unlike anything in European airspace. Twin engines mounted in twin booms stretching back from the wings, a central nacelle housing the pilot and weapons, and tricycle landing gear. This design wasn't conventional and defied the established principles of Luftwaffe fighter doctrine. Major Adolf Galland, oft Hemost Experience and respected fighter leader since Luftwaffe, reviewed the intelligence reports at Jageschwader 26 headquarters in France. Galland and Discali guess were confident in their methods and aircraft designs, based in years of fightingent battle off Britain and their campaigns. Their assessment was clear. Twin-engine fighters were inherently inferior to single-engine designs in dogfighting. This belief was rooted in past experience with Messerschmitt Bf-110, Zerstorer, or Destroyer, a twin-engine EV fitter designed in the 1930s to escort bombers and engage enemy formations. The Bf-110 mounted a vastating firepower, 420 cannons and 4 machine gun sinos, plus defensive rear-facing machine guns. Butenth Battle of Britain in 1940, the Bf-110 proved vulnerable and ineffective against martial British fighters like Spitfires and Hurricanes. The Bf-110 Chiviness on lack of maneuverability made it easy for fighters with superior turning ability and speed. Its failures led to the withdrawal from daylight fighter operations and relegation to night fighting on ground attack roles. These experiences of Luftwaffe doctrine thought when engine fighters were vulnerable and unsuitable for dogfighting. When photographs and reports about P-38 arrived, Galland and Distaff compared it direct light at the Bf-110. Thc in a similar aircraft, heavy and unwieldy, with massive hydrogen control issues. Thep-38 weighed over 10 tons fully loaded, nearly twice the weight of a P-51 Mustang, and its twin-boom central nacelle are considered aerodynamic liabilities. The distance between engines raised concerns about a symmetric thrust-of-on engine failed, which could cause loss of control. The central weapon speed was far from the pilot's natural sightline, making gaming difficult. German pilots was out the fierce intelligence photographs laud, dismissing the P-38 as reconnaissance platform, not a fighter capable of challenging the Bf-109 or FW-190. This misjudgment was not unique. The Luftwaffe's experience with twin-engine fighters had been disastrous, and the assumed P-38 would follow some pattern. They did not anticipate American engineers had assigned yet P-38 from the ground up to solve the problems that plagued the Bf-110 and twin-engine fighters. Thep-38's design was radical and innovative. Twin booms allowed for counter-rotating propellers, eliminating turkey-fixed hat made handling difficult in other single-engine fighters. The central nacelle provide non-obstructed view on the Laudal weapons. 4.50 caliber machine gun Sindon 20 cannon, Toba fired from the nose, delivering concentrated firepower without the need for gun convergence adjustments. That when vertical tail fins connected via horizontal stabilizer provide exceptional stability and control authority. That distributed weight improved roll rate and maneuverability despite the aircraft size and weight. Most importantly, the clean, aerodynamic shape minimized draw compared to conventional twin-engine layouts, where engines mounted on the wings created massive interference drag. Despite the advantages, the Luftwaffe's initial assessment was that the new American fighter would be slow and unmaneuverable as their twin-engine fighters. The expected P-38 to be a Cyper 4 Bf-109 Sand FW-190s, which were superior in speed, agility, and dogfighting capabilities. This underestimation would prove fatal in the coming months. German squadrons facing the P-38 for first time were unprepared for the aircraft's unique combination of speed, firepower, and maneuverability. Thep-38 could outclimb, bout turn and out of German fighters, Wylights nose-mounted weapons delivered devastating firepower with unmatched accuracy. Major Gallon ladder reflected on these intelligent sea failure, Kollenjet Naft hemist kostla mistakes off Luftwaffe's fighter arm. Head mitethethe initially comparet P-38 toth Bf-110 and assumed sharet the same weaknesses, but P-38 weighs an entire different aircraft, built with lessons learned from German failures. The Luftwaffe's doctrinal failure is stemmed from their rigid belief that when turboprop fighters could not compete with single-engine fighters, that this belief was reinforced with Bf-110's disastrous performance. Saint he battle off Britain and the ineffectiveness of twin Soviet Tanfranc fighters in their wary years. Thep 38 challenged this orthodoxy. It wasn't just a fighter, it was a revolutionary aircraft that combined long range, endurance, speed and firepower in a way thought for said pilots and commander store think their strategy and tactics. The German pilots wo first encountered P-38 verushocked its performance. Lieutenant Headman Franz Schiss, leading Jagdgeschwader 53 over Tunisia, experienced at this shock firsthand when his Bf-109 was outmaneuvered and outgunned by P-38 since their first major combat engagement in November 1942. Thep 38's ability to break formation and attack with Agulian firepower unexpected from Motwin, engine fighter force German pilots into adapt tactics and respect the aircraft strengths. Evenus developed tactics for surviving against the lightning, henavierlist respect for the aircraft and its pilots. These early combat experience marked the beginning of a prolonged and deadly duel between P-38 and the Luftwaffe's best fighters. Thep 38 would gun to become Naft hemisphere and respected fighters in Thor, proving that when turboprop fighters could not only survive but dominate in the air. November 19, 1942. The bright morning light bathed skies over Tunisia's 18 P-38 Lightnings from one stand 140 fighter groups escorted Boeing B-17 flying fortresses and Thirwedo targets in the heart of North Africa. The American formation climbed to 20,000 feet, ready to engage in enemy fitters attempting to intercept the bombers. Headman Franz Schiss, leading Jagdgeschwader 53 elements, spotted the American formation from his Bf-109G. He was a battle-hardened pilot with 140 missions and 19 victories against British and Soviet aircraft. No set the strange twin-engine American fighters for first time. Schiss and Disuna positioned themselves above and behind P-38s, employing standard German fighter tactics for engaging twin-engine aircraft. Attack from above and behind, exploiting the assumed lack of maneuverability and sloterningability of P-38s. These was the classic approaches against the fitters like Bf-110, which were slow and vulnerable. The Bf-109s from their advantageous position, expecting easy kills against what they believed were lumbering twin-engine fighters. But what happened next generated preconceptions. Thep 38 pilots immediately spot the diving Germans. Instead of maintaining a defensive A formation, they broke hard into the attic. The Lightning sterned inside off to diving Messerschmitts with a titradias that made impossible for such massive aircraft. Schiss found himself looking no at the tail of a lumbering twin-engine bomber destroyer, Butithanos P-38 pooling lead for a deflection shot. Thep 38 nose-mounted weapons, 4.50 caliber Browning machine gun Sandun 20 mm Hispanic cannon, delivered concentrated firepower with devastating accuracy. Unlike wing-mounted guns requiring convergence adjustments, Thep 38's guns converged naturally at an range. One burst could literalize a Bf-109 in half. Schiss pulled hard, his Bf-109 protesting at each of its performance same floppy. The American pilot followed, staying inside this turn. Impossible. A 10-ton aircraft should not turn like these. Yet, the Lightning stayed with him, its pilot using combat flap settings that transformed the aircraft channeling characteristics. Schiss survived that first engagement, but 3 of his pilots did not return to base. In the next few months Schiss would develop tactics specifically for fighting the P-38, eventually becoming Luftwaffe's shyest scoring Lightning killer with 17 confirmed victories. Butevenischiller ned to exploit he Lightning's weaknesses, Henneverstaped respecting its strengths. Years later, after the war, Schiss would write in his combat memoirs that the P-38 pilot Honer shot them down that first day had taught him a crucial lesson. Never underestimate an based on preconceptions about what their aircraft should be capable of doing. The initial German dismissal of P-38 stemmed from their experience with Bf-110. The Messerschmitter store weighs a twin-engine EV fitter designed in Hele 1930s to escort bombers and destroy bomber formations. It mounted a vastating firepower, 420 cannons and 4 machine gun Sinos, plus twin rear-facing machine guns for defense. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, the Bf-110 had been slaughtered. British Spitfire and Hurricane pilots found the Havite when engine fighter reshaped. Unable to dogfight effectively, too slow touring. These are store units suffered catastrophic losses. By the end of 1940, the Bf-110 had been withdrawn from daylight fighter operations over Britain and relegated to night fighting on ground attack roles. These experts secreate the doctrine within the Luftwaffe, twine an equally vulnerable in air-to-air combat. The assessment see med validated by ver subsequent encounter. Soviet twin engine fighters proved equally ineffective. French twin engine design had been swept from Thesky in 1940. Therefore, when P-38 appeared, German fighter pilots assumed they understood exactly what they faced. Another failed attempt to create the twin engine fighter. The assessment reached the highest level of Luftwaffe command. General Adolf Galland later wrote in his post-war memoirs that the initially compared P-38 to the Bf-110. Assuming the same weaknesses. This comparison would prove not the most costly intelligence failures of German fighterarm. What Luftwaffe failed to understand was P-38 had been designed from the ground up to solve every problem that plagued the Bf-110. The Americans had learned from German mistakes and created something entirely different. The P-38's design embraced its unique configuration rather than trying to make it twin engine fighter behave like a single engine aircraft. The counter-rotating propellers eliminated key effects, improving contra land handling. The central nacelle allowed for an obstructed pilot view on nose-mounted weapons delivered concentrated firepower without the complexity of soft gun convergence. That when boom support at twin vertical tail fins connected via horizontal stabilizer, providing exceptional stability and control authority. That distributed weight improved roll rate despite the aircraft size and weight. Most importantly, the clean, aerodynamic shape minimized draw compared to conventional twin engine layouts, where engines mounted on the wings created massive interference drag. The P-38's performance in Tunisia was shocked to the Luftwaffe. It cold out turned Bf-109 G6 at low altitude when properly flown. It called out Klimbany German fighter below 15,000 feet. Its diving speed exceeded that of the most advanced single-engine fighters. Most devastatingly, its nose-mounted weapons delivered concentrated firepower had destroyed German fighters with shocking efficiency. A 1-second burst, approximately 60 rounds from .50 caliber guns plus 15 rounds from 20 cannon, cuts a Bf-109 in half. The P-38's arrival on the combat stage forced Luftwaffe to rethink their strategy and develop new tactics. The old methods used against the twin engine fighters like the Bf-110 were ineffective against this new threat. German pilots had to learn quickly how to engage and defeat an aircraft that combined long range, endurance, speed, and firepower in a way never before seen. The P-38's unique combination of speed, firepower, and maneuverability made it a deadly opponent in both dogfights and interceptions. It wasn't just a fighter, it was a revolutionary aircraft that changed the course of aerial combat in Second World War. For American pilots, the P-38 offered unprecedented capabilities. It was one of the first fighters capable of long-range escort missions, protecting bombers deep in enemy territory. It was fast, well-armed, and maneuverable, capable of engaging on destroying enemy fighters while also performing reconnaissance and ground attack roles. The P-38's success in Tunisia was just the beginning. It would go into battle across multiple theaters, from Pacific to Europe, to North African band, earning a reputation as one of the most versatile and effective fighters in Thor. The engagements over Tunisia also showed the importance of pilot training and adaptation. The P-38 pilots learned to exploit the aircraft's strengths, using zoom climbs, diving attacks, and high-speed maneuvers rather than traditional turning dogfights. Their ability to coordinate and communicate effectively in the air allowed them to maximize the P-38's potential and dominate the airspace. The Luftwaffe, while initially caught off guard, began adapting. Their pilots developed tactics to minimize the P-38's advantages, exploiting its weaknesses whenever possible. Both P-38's combination of technology and pilot training proved formidable, and it remained a deadly threat throughout the war. The first major combat test in the North African campaign was a moment of truth for the P-38 Lightning. It validated Lockheed's radical design and proved that American innovation could challenge and defeat the best fighters in the world. It was a moment that marked the beginning of aerial combat, where technology, tactics, and pilot skill combined to change the face of war in the air. The Luftwaffe's initial dismissal of Lockheed P-38 Lightning was deployed in its prior combat experiences with Messerschmitt Bf-110 Zerstorer, a twin-engine EV fighter designed in the 1930s to bomber Sandfighter escort missions. The Bf-110 was armed with 4 20 cannon Sand 4 machine gun Sinos, plus defensive rear-facing machine guns, providing formidable firepower for its time. Despite its armament, the Bf-110 was even largely unmaneuverable, and lacked the agility needed to dogfight effectively. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, the Bf-110 was exposed total brunt of British fighter power. Spyfires and Hurricanes pilots quickly exploited Bf-110's lack of maneuverability and relative velo speed, turning the heavy fighter into a cypre. The Bf-110 could not match the single-engine fighters' turning ability and acceleration, and suffered catastrophic losses in the air. The Bf-110's failure since Battle of Britain led to the withdrawal from daylight fighter operations and its reassignment to night fighter and ground attack roles. These experiences left a deep impression on Luftwaffe's fighter doctrine, cementing the belief that twin-engine fighters were inherently vulnerable and unsuitable for dogfighting. This doctrine was reinforced with the performance of twin Soviet and French twin-engine fighters in the early war period. This aircraft also proved ineffective against marginally enemy fighters, solidifying the view that the twin-engine fighters were at a disadvantage in air-to-air combat. Therefore, when P-38 Lightning appeared in the early 1940s, German fighter pilots and commanders assumed they understood exactly what they were facing. Another failed attempt to create a twin-engine fighter thought would be outmaneuvered and destroyed by their proven Bf-109s and FW-190s. This assumption reached the highest levels of Luftwaffe Command. General Adolf Galland, one of the most experienced fighter leaders, wrote a later that he initially compared the P-38 to the Bf-110, expecting the same weaknesses. This comparison would prove one of the most costly intelligence failures of German fighterarm. While Luftwaffe failed to recognize that P-38 was not just another twin-engine fighter. It was a designated revolution, built from the ground up to solve all the problems plaguing the Bf-110 and other twin-engine fighters. The Americans should study German failures and create an entirely new kind of fighter. The P-38 embraced its unique configuration, rather than trying to make a twin-engine fighter behave like a single-engine aircraft. The twin booms allowed for counter-rotating propellers, eliminating turkey fixed hat made handling difficult to other single-engine fighters. The central nacelle provide non-obstructed view on the loud weapons, 4.50 caliber machine guns and 20 cannon, to fire from the nose, delivering concentrated firepower without the complexity of soft gun convergence. That when vertical tail fins connected via horizontal stabilizer provide exceptional stability and control authority. That distributed weight improved draw despite the aircraft size and weight. Most importantly, the clean, aerodynamic shape minimized draw compared to conventional twin-engine layouts, where engines mounted on the wings created massive interference drag. The P-38's performance ain't Hefield quickly proved Luftwaffe doctrine wrong. It cold out turned Bf-109 G6 at low altitude when properly flown. It called out Klimbany German fighter below 15,000 feet. Its diving speed exceeded that of the most advanced single-engine fighters. Most devastatingly, its nose-mounted weapons delivered concentrated firepower had destroyed German fighters with shocking efficiency. The P-38's arrival forced Luftwaffe to rethink their strategies and develop new tactics. The old methods assisted against the twin-engine fighters like the Bf-110 were ineffective against this new threat. German pilots had to learn quickly how to engage and defeat an aircraft that combined long range, endurance, speed, and firepower in a way never before seen. The Luftwaffe's failure to anticipate P-38's capabilities was not just an intelligence failure. It was a doctrinal failure rooted in past experiences and preconceptions. The P-38 challenged the very foundation of their fighter strategy and forced them to adapt under fire. This adaptation was not immediate. The Luftwaffe was initially caught off guard and suffered heavy losses in their encounters with P-38. Vermins, they developed tactics to minimize the P-38's advantages, exploiting its weaknesses whenever possible. Despite this, the P-38 remained a deadly threat throughout the war. Its combination of technology and pilot training proved formidable, and it continued to outperform and outfight many German fighters. The legacy of Bf-110 and the Luftwaffe's doctrinal failure served as a powerful lesson in the importance of innovation and adaptation in wartime aviation. The P-38 Lightning was not just a fighter. It was a revolutionary aircraft that changed the course of aerial combat in Second World War. The P-38's success also showed the importance of designing aircraft around the unique advantages, rather than trying to fit new technology as into its dogmatic frameworks. The Lockheed team would be Kelly Johnson Ember set with twin-engine configuration and create an aircraft that leveraged its strengths. Counter-rotating propellers for stability, nose-mounted weapons for accuracy, and twin booms for control and redundancy. This design philosophy contrasted sharply with Luftwaffe's reliance on traditional fighter concepts and highlighted the danger of underestimating innovation based on past failures. The P-38's impact was felt beyond just combat performance. It forced Luftwaffe and other air forces around the world to consider their approach to fighter design and combat doctrine. It showed that when turboprop fighters could not only survive Butek's lean dogfighting and interception roles. The P-38's legacy of innovation, adaptation, and the power of challenging established beliefs. It remains an iconic example of how technology and design can transform warfare and reshape military thinking. In February 1937, at Wright Field, Ohio, First Lieutenants Benjamin Kelsey and Gordon Saville were assigned to develop a specification that would change warfare forever. They drafted Circular Proposal X608, a call for at-win engine interceptor with ambitious performance goals. At up speed of 316 fat 20,000 feet, a service ceiling of 36,000 feet, on endurance who rate maximum speed. These numbers were unprecedented. No existing fighter could meet him. But Kelsey and Saville were in a task for existing technology. They wanted revolution. 5 major aircraft manufacturers submitted proposals. Consolidated, Curtiss, Douglas, Lockheed, and Vought. Each team faced the same fundamental challenge. Asing engine could not produce auto power for the speed and altitude requirements. Twin engines were acquired, but when signified weight, drag, and control problems. At Lockheed, a engineer named Clarence, Kelly Johnson led Adam that approach at the problem differently. Instead of trying to make a twin engine fighter behave like a single engine aircraft, Johnson embraced the configuration and designed around its unique advantages. Johnson and his team explored various configurations: push-pull propellers, tandem engines with drive shafts, and conventional twin engine layouts with engines mounted on the wings. Each had fatal flaws: excessive drag, complex mechanical issues, or poor control characteristics. Then Johnson sketched a aerodynamic concept. Placed the engines in streamlined booms extending back from the wings, put the pilot and we up in a central nacelle between booms, and as the booms to support twin vertical tail fins connected by a horizontal stabilizer. This layout offered exceptional stability and control authority. The design had several revolutionary advantages. First, the propellers rotate in opposite directions, eliminating turkey fixed hat made handling difficult in single-engine fighters. Second, the central nacelle provide non-obstructed view on the loud weapons. 4.50 caliber machine gun Sindone 20 cannon, to fire from the nose, delivering concentrated firepower without the complexity of soft gun convergence. That when booms distributed weight improved roll rate and maneuverability despite the aircraft size and weight. Most importantly, the clean, aerodynamic shape minimized draw compared to conventional twin-engine layouts, where engines mounted on the wings created massive interference drag. On June 23 RD 1937, the Army Air Corps awarded Lockheed a contract to build a prototype designated XB-38. Construction began immediately at Lockheed's Burbank, California facility. The prototype was completed by December 31 ST, 1938. Lieutenant Kelsey, who participated in the drafting of X608, was the test pilot for the XB-38's maiden flight. On January 27 1939, Kelsey lifted the XB-38 off the ground for first time. The test flight revealed an aircraft unlike anything he had flown before. The counter-rotating propellers eliminated her key completely, providing superb control. The tricycle and gyro had excellent visibility during taxi and takeoff. The cockpit, positioned between engines rather than behind or above, offered unobstructed views in all directions. The controls were responsive despite the aircraft size. Kelsey pushed the XB-38 to 414 fin level flight, far exceeding the specification requirements. At altitude, the turbochargers fed compressed air to the Lyson engines, enabling rapid climbs. General Henry Arnold, commander of the Army Air Corps, saw the potential immediately. Authorized Kelsey to attempt a transcontinental record flying from Marshfield, California, to Mitchell Field, New York. The flight would demonstrate American air power to the world and prove XB-38's capabilities. On February 11, 1939, Kelsey departed Marshfield. He arrived at Mitchell Field in 7 hours and 2 minutes, including 2 fueling stops, shattering the previous record and making national lines. This success was a showcase of American innovation and engineering prowess. However, disaster struck at the final approach. Carburetoricing caused both Anginastolos power and the XB-38 crashed short of their runway, destroying the prototype. Kelsey walked away uninjured, but the crash could have ended the program. Instead, The crash validateth the design. Kelsey survival ruvet the inherent safety of Tetwin boom layout. The pilots nacila remained intact while bothing ein booms were devastated. The Army Air Corps immediately ordered 13 YP-38 evaluation aircraft. Early production models faced teething problems. Enginical issues, turbochargers needed refinement, and pilotraining was critical to exploit the aircraft's unique characteristics. Lockheed engineers work at fini aerodynamics, improve turbochargers, and incorporate self-sealing fuel tanks and armor protection for the pilot. Lockheed test pilot Milo Burcham developed combat tactics that overaged P-38 strengths. Unlike single-engine F-fighters relying on tight turning, the Lightning is said zone climbs, diving attacks, and high-speed maneuvers. That wine engines provided vertical maneuverability impossible for single-engine fighters. P-38 snows-mounted weapons delivered concentrated firepower with devastating accuracy. A 1-second burst from 4.50 caliber machine gun Sindone 20 cannon could destroy fitters instantly. Unlike wing-mounted guns requiring convergence adjustments, P-38's guns converged naturally at Tanarange. P-38's long-range capability is solo escort missions deep in enemy territory, protecting bombers from fighter attacks. The aircraft also performed reconnaissance sea and ground attack roles, showcasing its versatility. P-38's unique configuration and performance forced Luftwaffe to recess fighter doctrine. German pilots initially dismissed P-38 as a big, lumbering reconnaissance platform, but combat proved otherwise. P-38 could outclimb, outturn, and out of German fighters, and its firepower was lethal. P-38's success was not just technical. It was also strategic. The aircraft enabled American to extend air power across vast distances, changing the dynamics of aerial warfare in European Pacific. The development of P-38 weighs its to innovation and vision. Kelly Johnson and his team embraced new ideas and challenged conventional wisdom, creating an aircraft that would become the icon of World War I aviation. P-38's legacy is on technological breakthroughs, adaptation, and the power of designing to switch unique advantages. It showed that embracing innovation and earning from past mistakes could change warfare forever.